Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Phenomenal Views. I'm your host Nick Smith, and today I'm here to talk about something that we all enjoy, but for some reason Hollywood wants to destroy. I am of course talking about video games, and I'm here to talk about video game adaptations. Movie adaptations, whichever. The one like where they make a movie out of where they make a video game into a movie. That. So, what am I here to talk about? I am here to talk about a movie adaptation of Resident Evil. Yes, the movie adaptation of Resident Evil. Now, Resident Evil is a gaming series by Capcom that involves stuff with zombies, the Umbrella Corporation, people with guns, a mansion, freaking darkness, freaking people getting killed, whole entire cities, the whole entire Earth becoming a barren wasteland. I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm here to talk about a dumb version that Paul Anderson gave us. Now, Paul Anderson, I have heard, has directed at least one good movie adaptation. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't this. Before I even get into that, I'm just going to say that George Romero, if he is dead, may he rest in peace, he wrote a script for the first Resident Evil movie. And you know what it was going to be based on? The very first game. Did we get that? Heck no! They looked at script and said it was bad. Okay, Capcom, how is a movie that is based on the game, with the characters from the game, the place where the game took the place where the game took place, you have zombies, you have a villain, you have the frickin' guest house, you have the outside, you have the laboratory, you have it all. George Romero has a script. For some reason, it wasn't published or it wasn't made into a movie, but after this video, I'm gonna put in the links below. Anyway, Paul Anderson's script is about the Umbrella Corporation and about the Hive, which the Hive is not in any of the games. What a great job. So, we get a star of this film, Mila Jovovich, or if that's how you pronounce her name. Now, I just have one question. Is Mila Jovovich in the dang games? I mean, she could be. She could be playing a character from the game. Let me see. What character was she playing? She was playing a character named Alice. Now, is there a character named Alice in the Resident Evil games? Audience?
Play the dang games!
Yeah. Play the dang games. Now, is she in the games?
No!
There you go. No, Alice is not in the dang games. You know who is it? You know who is in the games? Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, Ada Wong, Claire Redfield, Ashley, the President's daughter, Albert Wesker. I forget the Rebecca from Resident Evil 0. Okay, so let's just talk about the movie. This movie begins with the Umbrella Corporation talking about what the Umbrella Corporation does. Now, we get a spit of the T-virus being made, and then all of a sudden, you see this. T-virus breaks, the whole entire thing gets out, everyone starts freaking out, the gas of the T-virus gets into the ducts, and it kills everyone. Well, not everyone, but when the Red Queen, who is also not in the games, basically decides, hey, this is too dangerous to let out into the surface, so I'll just kill every innocent bystander in here, who probably have families, but hey, you know what? It's just a security caution. So, people who... a fire alarm goes off. It makes the sprinklers come down. It drowns people. People in the elevator get dropped. A girl gets decapitated by the dang elevator. So then after everyone's dead, we wake up, we finally get to to Alice, Paul Anderson's wife, who wakes up and she's half naked. Actually, no, she's totally naked, but she covers up anyway. But she's walking around and she can't remember a thing. All of a sudden, she goes outside. She's looking around her mansion. There is a mansion in this movie, so hey, you got one thing from the games, right? Except it's not big enough to be the mansion in the game. So She's walking around the mansion and she finds a love letter that says, "Today all your dreams are gonna come true." She then opens all of the drawers and she finds 1 has white clothing, 2 has white clothing, 3 has a freaking arson with guns, grenades, anything, ammo, and then she finds the red dress that she walks around, opens the door, and then you see birds flying out, or you see birds flying around and going all crazy like, ah, ah, ah. Excuse me for the bad interpretation, or the bad whatever. All of a sudden, there's this guy comes in who grabs her, and then all of a sudden, everything seems fine. All of a sudden, these people break into the mansion, and then it's like, "What? Report, agent, report, report. Give me your dang report." I don't know anything. Huh? Yeah. So Alice has amnesia. This other character, whose name is Matt, is a cop who they apparently don't even have on file, or so we think. Anyway, so they're walking around the hive, and they're like, "This mansion is basically an emergency entrance to the hive that is underground." So they start going underground, and when they get to the first level of being underground, this is just hilarious. They can see the city. Underground. Can you see a view from looking through dirt? No. So then, they're basically talking about the Red Queen went homicide. What's the Red Queen? State-of-the-art artificial intelligence. Basically, she controls everything down here. The Red Queen went homicide because the T-virus broke out, yada, yada, yada. So, they go through and they find that there's this laser beam security system. And the laser beams cut through people and it kills everyone. Of course, though, the last guy who was killed survived, and then when the lasers made a freaking fence wall, he just decides to stand there. He doesn't decide, hey, maybe I should back up, because when it goes through him, it stops right afterwards. You could have just backed up, guy. You would have been fine, but oh well. People that don't matter, they're dead. So then they get to this room with holding tubes, with freaking other places. They go all over this place. They go all over the hive. They find the room where all the people died, but they're all gone. Then they find the room that was flooded, and you see people that were drowned. And all of a sudden, the girl's eyes open. So then, when they get into the room with all the holding chambers, that's what they are. They're like, there may be survivors. Let's try and look for survivors. So they look, and all of a sudden, the first zombie appears. They just shoot it everywhere, and this girl's name, Rain, who is an actor that is an actress who has been in the Fast and Furious movies, and that's the only movie I know besides these, and Resident Evil Resolution. Go and watch my review on that. But she gets bit, and they shoot her in the leg. They shoot her in the leg again, and again, 5 more times until freaking Rain brings out the machine gun, and then when they look, she's gone. And also, while Alice and Matt are walking around, we see a certain creature. You know what that creature is? I'll let you know when they get rid of when they shut the queen down and they have their very first zombie attack. So yes, after that, we get all these zombies coming in, and it's because when they cut the power, all the zombies were released. All the doors were open. So all the zombies are coming out, which this is our very first zombie scene, which it's not that bad, except only one thing Alice can do, freaking kung fu kicks. We find out later she was head of security, which explains, but I mean, come on. Kung fu kicks to a zombie? You don't do freaking Power Ranger moves. You don't go hiya and hiya. You go gun, bang, dead, set the body on fire, then you run. And then Alice gets chased by the dogs, which the dogs I hated in the dang games. But I digress. I'm gonna need some coffee. Just hold on one second. Then they go to this train, and they find this other guy named Spence, who will come on later in the plot. And it turns out him and Alice are apparently married. Now, what they mean by married, they mean they both work for Umbrella, and they are the security guards to guide this entrance to the hive. So they run into the zombies a lot. One guy gets freaking eaten, and they all run out of ammo. Then they go to this, they have to get underground, more underground, to basically, alright, we gotta get out of here, because if we don't, we're gonna be sealed down here freaking forever. And there's also a train. There's a train. So, but anyways, they're basically just trying to find a way to get out of there and without losing any more people. So, Paul Anderson, why did you have to get your script accepted? I hate these movies. So basically, they keep losing more people, and they come to an epidemic where they have to get on the pipes in the ceiling to crawl over the zombies to get away. And they run into the Red Queen, who's like, you shouldn't be down here. You all are going to die. Get out of here. You all are going to die. They shut her off, and then that's after all heck breaks loose, because that's what kills the power. Later on in the movie, Alice gets her memory back. We find out that she was the head of security, and she was working with a certain girl who died in the film, and she was yelling at the camera to open the doors. We find out that it's Matt's sister, and she was going to try and take Umbrella down, and turns out Alice was trying to help her take Umbrella down. She was going to sneak her a little small of the T-virus so she could take it to the government and they could shut the Umbrella Corporation down. Well, Alice's husband, Spence, is like, the T-virus is probably going to be worth a lot of money on the black market. I know, I'll destroy it, commit massive murder, turn everyone into zombies, and try to get away, and hopefully my wife will still think I'm okay, and we'll get married in real life, because it was actually a fake. Yeah, dumb idea. But anyways, so they basically get through all this zombie crap, and then we find out that the thing in the holding chamber was a liquor. A liquor. Yeah. Paul Anderson, have you played any of the Resident Evil games? A liquor is not just some creature that you experiment when the person is dead that creates a liquor. No. You know what a liquor is? It is a zombie that if you don't kill, they become the second stage. Crimson Heads, which they don't walk, they run. And after that, the skin eventually keeps rotting, and they change into the dang liquors. Play the dang games! And another thing, with another character, the character Matt, at the beginning he's like, I'm a cop. Yeah, I'm a cop. And you automatically think, oh, is he gonna play Leon? No! This isn't like Resident Evil 2. Yeah, because Leon and Claire work together in Resident Evil 2 or 3. It's one of those two. I think it's Resident Evil 2. But they eventually, it gets to, Rain gets bit again. She gets bit like every single time, and then when they decide, okay, we're gonna turn the Red Queen on again because we gotta find a way out of here. She's the only one who can help us. So they turn on the Red Queen, and she says, the T-virus broke out. I decided to kill everyone just to make sure it doesn't get out, because it would have created even more mass homicide, and everyone would have turned into a zombie and died. Hey, guess what? That happened anyway. So basically, they decide to, the Red Queen's basically like, I can open the doors, but I want you to kill one of your infected. One of your friends is infected. I don't want her getting out into the world and creating a mass problem. So they have the idea, hey, let's do this, but then she destroys the Red Queen. Now, also something that I have mentioned, Spence gets his memory back. He was the one who threw the T-virus and destroyed it, like I said earlier. And he was basically like, no one changes. You really think that you could have stopped this company? No one changes. Nothing or never anyone changes. We can still get out of this together. I wanted me and you to get out of this together. And Alice is like, I don't know what we had, but I'm sure it's over. A zombie bites him, and they basically find out you've known where the antivirus is. They find out that the antivirus, they reverse the process or something to create the antivirus, and they were using it on bunnies. So Umbrella Corporation is another one of PETA's worst nightmares, experimenting on lab animals? Good job. So they basically Spence betrays them all. He's like, you know what, if you're not going to go with me, frick. I'm just going to get out of here and leave you all to die with the liquor. And we find out that the Red Queen was actually going to use the liquor to murder them all because she didn't think they were going to get out of there in time. A name that they have given the Red Queen in this series is she's a homicidal witch. I'm not going to say the actual word, but, like, then all of a sudden, you know, Rain's like, when they get on the train and, you know, Spence gets freaking murdered by the liquor, the liquors mutate. Bull crap. The liquors do not mutate when they eat meat, eat flesh. They don't mutate. They're already a mutated abomination who can kill anything. And it's the only one. It's the only one. So with more and more zombies coming after them, they destroy the Red Queen. They get on the train, and the liquor starts attacking. The only people left is Matt, Rain, and Alice. And they're on the train, and the liquor starts attacking the train. It scratches Matt on the arm, and then all of a sudden Rain becomes a zombie. And Matt gets a gun and shoots Rain in the head, and she falls back perfectly into place to open the door on the floor that kills the liquor, while the liquor's tongue was impaled by a spike by Alice. The liquor's tongue is about longer than this. It could have just easily, look, okay, here's a liquor, here's Alice. Tongue impaled, could have just easily just pounced and ripped her to shreds. But for some reason they don't do that. Liquor is killed. Matt and Alice are the only ones left. And Matt's like, look, we know what's going on here. We're going to go to the government. We're going to get this. We're going to get this. And then all of a sudden he starts freaking out. And then like we see these tentacles coming out of his arms. And these other people who there, apparently there's a lab in the mansion. Alice couldn't find that. Dora the Explorer could freaking find this laboratory in the mansion. Although the laboratory was in the mansion, but it was in the garden at the end of the game. Play the game! So these people in white come, and they're like, take him out. They're like, he's mutating. I want him in the Nemesis program. Yes, they're gonna turn someone into Nemesis. I smell sequel. So then Alice keeps trying to get to Matt, and then they eventually are able to take out Alice, and then she wakes up with all these freaking plugs in her head, and they even manage to get her even more half naked. And so at the end of the film, we see Alice walking out. She grabs a shotgun and she pumps it, and then the movie ends. Guys, play the first game. The first game had Jill, Chris, Barry, Wesker. If you play Chris's version, it has Rebecca. If you play Jill's, it has a guy named Richard, who, along with in Chris's version, who, guess what, was in the first game. So, Paul Anderson, if you're gonna make a film that's with zombies, don't call it Resident Evil, because George Romero is the zombie king, and he has made so many great zombie films. Well, guys, that's it. I am Nick Smith. I will be putting George Romero's script of the original Resident Evil in the description box below. Comment, subscribe. Tell me, what did you think of the film? Did you like the film? Did you hate the film? Is this your least favorite video game adaptation? Is this your favorite video game adaptation or movie adaptation of a video game? Whatever. Thanks, guys. Check in the next time when I review Resident Evil Apocalypse, which probably won't happen until after I play the third game. Have a good night.